How's it going, Martians? Let's see. Let me get shout outs real quick and we'll get right into the news here. Nightmar Z, how's it going today? Addiction Sequence, Deep Mind Lab, thank you for the XRP donation last night, dude. Much appreciated. You're a saint, like everybody in our community. You know, like so many people in the community, rather. But, you know, you really like blew me away last night. Thank you for that massive donation of Xrps. It's going straight into the ledger, so thank you so much, brother. Jonathan Jameer, what's up? What's up? Good evening to you. It's kind of early day here, but you know, it's evening there. Thanks for tuning in, spending your evening with me. King of Hearts, how's it going, brother? David Delgado, how you doing, bro? All right, guys. So we're gonna hop right in here. I see a bunch of other people hopping in, but I don't want to spend too much time. I want to get the news out of the way, and to keep things organized, I'm using my old phone now so that I can go over all of our talking points. So anybody who's tuning in after the stream, just stay tuned until I stop looking at my phone, and then you're gonna know that I'm basically just engaging with the community, answering questions, chatting up with everybody out here. So thank you guys all for tuning in, and we're gonna jump straight into this. So first off, we're gonna cover the markets because we got some good news and good news. It's like a in-between news about US and China regarding a currency pact that is now in talks. So it was actually in talks since I believe it was since March of this year, but since February this year, and then it was sidelined in May. And so it was postponed, and now we're getting these talks being brought back up. Now, I can't find any data, any information on what this currency pact is about in direct relation to US-China. But I was watching a Bearable Guy video earlier today, and Bearable Guy went over the US-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, and he covered a section regarding digital trade and the finance section that had very similar language to what Reuters, I think it was Reuters, it's either Reuters or Bloomberg's article that was talking about this new US-China currency pact was covering. So on this news, we have the Dow Jones is up about 0.5% today. The S&P is up about 0.6%, which is, for traditional markets, that's actually pretty decent to have a healthy recovery. Now, the markets are still down. We're still trading in a sideways consolidation range right now, so this isn't a new high for the Dow or the S&P. Ranges are, or the prices are still range bound. The Shanghai Composite Index is up almost a full percent at 7.8% or 0.78%, and it's actually getting ready to test its previous high from this consolidation range on this news. Now, I think the article that we're going to jump into here regarding this, it's a Bloomberg article here, and I want to quote this directly from Bloomberg. Senior negotiators from the US and China are scheduled to hold talks through Friday. People familiar with the plan said Liu met with a small group of business executives and separately with the IMF officials on Wednesday afternoon. And this is, again, from people who are familiar with the situation. So who are these, what is this small group of business executives, and what's their relation to the IMF? Andre is saying the stream is a little bit laggy, so can somebody else confirm yay or nay? Is it him? Hopefully it's not too bad. I got everything turned off here, so we shouldn't have too much lag. It's saying that I've got basically full connection here too, so hopefully it's just you, Andre. It's okay now. So it was a little bit okay. So it seems to be off and on, so we'll continue on here. Get through the news here. I want to try and get it all consolidated. The big talking points at least consolidated in the first 10 minutes here, right? As long as the audio is good, who cares if my face is all blah, 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 pulling all over. As long as you can hear me, that's what's important today, right? So that's what we got going on the world stage, right? Is that US and China are talking about this currency pact. Now, there's not anything no major announcements about what this pact is. But that brings up Bearable Bull's video that he did today, and I suggest anybody who hasn't already seen it go watch that after the stream. But I'm gonna go over two parts that he brought up from it here. So let me pull this up here, and we'll slide down to Article 19.14 of the Cooperation Agreement between U.S., Mexico, and Canada. So the cooperation's purpose is recognizing the global nature of digital trade, and that all parties shall endeavor to exchange information and share experience on regulations, policies, enforcement, and compliance relating to digital trade, including personal information protection, security in electronic communications, authentication, and government use of digital tools and technologies to achieve better government performance. The cooperation, the purpose is also to cooperate and maintain a dialogue on the cross-border privacy rules that further global interoperability of privacy regimes. In addition to actively participating in regional and multilateral fora to promote the development of digital trade, and to encourage development by the private sector of methods of self-regulation that foster digital trade, including code of conducts, model contracts, guidelines, and enforcement mechanisms. What private do? I don't know, right? So that's in regards to yeah, the Martian is a robot, haha. Well, as long as you're able to hear, right? Bruce, to your question, I won't say the person's name on my chat. I don't like anybody who attempts to defraud a charity. Simple as that. It's not anything personal against him. It's just a matter of what he did I cannot approve of, and therefore I don't support him anymore. But that's neither here nor there. If you choose to support him, hey, he's a good source of news. I appreciate him for his source of news before the whole debacle at the beginning earlier this year. But you know, yeah. But for that, Jay, are you using a hotspot on your second phone? Probably lagging. Let me make sure the Wi-Fi's off. No, the Wi-Fi's off. Hotspot's off on my phone, so I don't know why. I might have just picked a bad place to do a live stream here today. Yeah, XRP Connie or Angel Connie. It's nothing personal against him. It's just purely the fact that I can't morally support somebody that I feel did. Whether or not he intentionally tried to or not, I just can't support that, right? But let's get back into the news here. This next section comes from the financials, chapter 17 of the USMCA, and it's talking about financial services. Now, this section I found very interesting. I need to find the section here. I think it was 17.5. One second. Where was it? Okay. 17.7, new financial services, all right? Each party shall permit a financial institution of another party to supply a new financial service that the party would permit its own financial institutions in like circumstances to supply without adopting a law or modifying an existing law. Notwithstanding Article 17.5a, yada yada, referring to an earlier passage talking about market access, a party may determine the institution and jurisdiction or judicial form through which the new financial service may be supplied and may require authorization for the supply of the service. If a party requires a financial institution to obtain authorization to supply a new financial service, this is really kind of jargony, right? But we'll get into this in a second. The party shall decide within a reasonable period of time whether to issue the authorization and may refuse the authorization only for prudential reasons. Human Tripod, thank you so much for the 2 bones, brother. Don't worry, cellmate will take care of his peach. Oh, I love it, brother. So let's go over what this USMCA agreement is really getting at, right? This is the modernization of trade between the US, Mexico, and Canada. So what this is explaining is that this new legislation is enabling digital financial companies, Ripple, R3, right? They're enabling these institutions to be interoperable cross-border. And the idea is that they are going to facilitate these new institutions, who are offering these new innovative solutions to operate within the current legislative or the current regulatory legislation, right? Now, what this reminded me of when I was reading this, or when Bearable Bull was talking about this, was actually Brad Garlinghouse's discussion at the New York Economic Forum, where Liz asked him something along the regards of what new regulation would Brad want to see, right? And Brad said, well, I'm not trying to sidestep your question, because in Brad's opinion, there doesn't need to be new regulation applied in the United States. They just simply need to to add the language to include these new digital assets into that, and to make it interoperable cross-border. And that's exactly what this US-Mexican Canada digital trade agreement is. Now we get into the fact that Japan brought up the same exact legislation too. They do the same exact thing, the same exact language. They're talking about the idea that the premise of these new trade agreements, these new digital trade agreements, is to prevent the competitive devaluation of a nation's monetary supply. So they aren't going to be able to devalue their currency to create an unfair advantage for one nation who's trading with another. How are they going to do that? How are they going to provide a level playing field? We all know that, right? Anybody who's been in the XRP community, who's been following this for all this, last year or almost 2 years since this has really started to unfold, through publicly disclosed documents, understands that what we're witnessing is them creating the legislation and pumping forth into law, into trade agreement law, international law. Yeah, maybe Stellar, right? CKJ cellmate, maybe it's Stellar. We don't know, right? Because they're not saying by name, they're not naming any companies in these documents. All they're saying is that they're enabling internationally operating financial institutions to engage with the traditional financial system in a way that they are not going to feel threatened, that they're going to be, attacked by lawsuits if they are using these new technologies, the new innovative technologies, to engage with and provide more, less friction in international trade, right? And yeah, Andrew Nation enablers, right? They're enabling the internet of value to come online. That's really what these documents are saying, right? So now, to get back to the US-China Currency Pact, what I think that is, they're saying Currency Pact. They're not even painting it with the broad stroke of saying financial services. They're straight up saying this is a new currency pact. They're trying to create a level currency playing field where both institutions, or where both nations, are going to be able to cooperate and not have to worry about one side creating a competitive edge against the other through devaluation of their currency. How are they going to do that? They're going to have to use a middleman. And that middleman is going to have to be a international, a supranational currency that they're going to both plug into, and they're both going to set fixed rates for their currencies, and they're going to provide, and that's how they're going to create liquidity through their trade. That's how they're going to liquidate their financial trades, right? So you can't wait for the regulatory clear of India. That's going to be big too, middleweight, and we're already seeing that with Ripple, at least, right? India's been really, really strict on almost all cryptocurrency, any type of cryptocurrency being accessible in India, yet RippleNet is being adopted by literally every major bank in India. It's almost like India says, yeah, we've already picked. We've already picked the one we want, and the rest of you can go blow smoke, right? So it's very exciting to see this kind of news coming into the forefront right now, especially as we heard, everybody's been thinking about 10-10, what's going to happen on the 10th? What's going to happen on the 10th? Well, we're getting this announcement that the US and China are once again picking up their discussion about how to create this level playing field between the currencies. And China, this is good news too, China, the yuan actually increased in value today. The yuan went up in value. That means that China is complying. They're not devaluing the yuan anymore. They're allowing the yuan to appreciate in value. Therefore, it's going to be more competitive, or the US can be more competitive against China now. That's what that says. The fact that the yuan went up as these communication or these negotiations are taking place, that is to me saying China already agreed that they're going to comply with this competitive ecosystem to create a fair level playing field with the United States, that they're tired of their economy tanking, that they're tired of putting the entire global financial system, the global trade system at risk by devaluing their currency, right? Now we'll have to wait and see. We have to watch and see what unfolds over the next, weeks or so with the yuan. Maybe we just gotta keep watching, observing, and wait to see how this unfolds. So, speculation news too. So, first, I'm gonna hop in here and read you guys the headlines for the day. I'm gonna start doing this too. I'm gonna start reading you guys the headlines for cryptocurrency XRP related news that's going on today. So from Reuters, we have gains a toehold in commerce. Ripple criticized for allegedly misrepresenting a relationship to XRP, and this is from Cointelegraph. Now, I'm going to address this article real quick before we go back through, because I already read through this article, and what they're trying to do is it's somebody from what's the name of the organization? I have the organization here. Castle Island Ventures, the CEO of Castle Island Ventures, who ironically, Castle Island Ventures is raising funds for their capital venture, or their venture fund, by creating ICOs. And they're trying to call Ripple executives psychopaths for lying about finding XRP versus creating it. But Ryan Fugger doesn't work at Ripple. Ryan Fugger created XRP. Chris Larson and Jeb McCaleb, they came on to the project, the Open Coin project, which became known as Ripples, and then rebrand again to XRP because everybody wanted to call Ripple as a security of Ripple, right? I stake out next to Oak. Oak, that you, bro? Come on into the video. Come sit in the bed. No, I would, right? That'd be great. But no, Oak's not here. But so, this guy is out here, this organization's out here trying to slander Ripple, calling them psychopaths, saying they didn't discover, or that they didn't discover XRP, that they actually created. But if you actually look at the timeline, they didn't create it. Ripple did not exist when XRP Ledger was created as Open Coin, long before Ripple the company was even in anybody's mind. Because Ryan Fugger was not one of the founders of Ripple. He sold it to the he sold his position to the founders. Hoorah, Stephen, go Navy. Sorry, got off topic there. But gotta give a shout out to the Navy. But Ryan Fugger sold his position out to Jeb and to Chris and then David Schwartz, right, when he came into the project. So the idea that this is still an argument that somebody's trying to present, it's just FUD, right? We know it's FUD, so we're gonna ignore it. I just wanted to address it since that's one of the headlines we got today, right? Now, the next one was, this is potentially not good news. We'll see how it goes. But Samsung Finabler, I think that's how you're gonna pronounce this. But Samsung Finabler deal on overseas payments is not involving Ripple or XRP. Now, I hadn't heard, but apparently Yahoo Finance is coming out clarifying this. And I don't know if this is true, because I know that Yahoo Finance has a history of just retweeting, or resharing articles from crypto media that without actually proof checking anything, because we've definitely debunked Yahoo Finance articles before. But either way, could be real, could be not. I didn't dig into that one yet. But I didn't hear about this deal. So please let me know if you actually heard something about Ripple actually being involved in this. But it's not that big of a deal, right? So we got another one from a crypto outlet talking about the same thing. This stupid island venture capital talking about Ripple, right? So we got a lot of FUD in the headlines today. We also have some good news though, that we've revealed Bank of America posts a Ripple project job opening. Now this is months old actually. So the job opening that was posted at Bank of America was posted back in July, and it was posted around the same time that we got the leak of the patent that showed that Ripple's DLT is being integrated into Bank of America's cross-border payments. And so the fact that they are hiring somebody onto Bank of America's staff to facilitate enablement of Ripple technologies, of Ripple services into Bank of America's payment schemes, that's pretty bullish. And it just goes further to show that it's not speculative. It's not, oh, we don't know, they might not be working with Ripple. No, they're working with Ripple. Bank of America is absolutely working with Ripple. They wouldn't have a patent doing with that includes XRP or the Ripple, DLT, the XRP distributed ledger, and they would not be hiring people to their staff to develop Ripple or to integrate Ripple technologies into their platform, right? It's just not a thing. It's absolutely a fact that Bank of America is going to use XRP now. Like, if anybody thinks otherwise, well, then you're not forward thinking enough. You don't understand that we're involved in a gargantuan. It's like anybody who played Shadow of the Colossus, right? There are these enormous giants that you're scaling, right? You're climbing these massive giants, and they seem like they're moving so slow while you're climbing them. But if you actually looked at the area that these things are covering while they're walking around, they're covering like thousands of feet in a second. Like, it takes you forever to actually run up to one of these things because they're moving so fast. You have to be on a mount or on a horse sometimes just to catch up to them. But once you're on it, it feels like it's going so slow. But really, it's warp speed for that giant. It's as fast as they can move. And that's what we're doing. We're watching these titans, these banking titans, slowly move towards their goals of integrating these things. And we're all like, is this ever going to happen? But it's happening. It's winning the lottery in slow motion. And that's what we're doing right now. That's one of my favorite lines from Digital Asset Investor. I love using it. So it's such a great analogy for where we're at, right? Now, there's another article out of EWN titled New Ripple Gateway Launched by South African Exchange for XRP-based transfers. So now we're increasing liquidity in South Africa by the sounds of it, right? Again, I haven't dug into that article specifically. There's so much news today that, I'm not going to be able to cover it all in live stream without us getting up like over several hours long. So I just want to cover the headlines and the big takeaways today. There's one other article, or there's one other announcement that I'm not going to talk too much about this, but this is going to be something that we talk about for the next like 5 minutes. But if you want to know more, absolutely go over and check out Kevin Cage's video. He just released a video today talking about this. Ripple and Finestra partners or have partnered to extend global cross-border payments with XRP. Now, I don't want to take too much shine away from Kevin Cage because I love supporting the rest of our community. So if you haven't watched Kevin Cage's video on Finestra today, go check it out. It's like 15 minutes. It's great. It's quick for you guys if you don't have the time, right? And so here's the big takeaway about Finestra. Finestra is enormous. It's the third largest payments company or settlement company in the world. They move $5 trillion, or they have $5 trillion under management, and they move. They have 175 million retail accounts. So anybody who understands Metcalfe's law, how the more nodes you have on a network, the more valuable that network becomes. Well, imagine having 175 million new nodes on the RippleNet network. What does that do to price? What does that do to the value of this network, right? Crazy stuff going on. Crazy big developments going on here. And, the world's asleep, right? But we're used to it in the XRP community. People are going to call us crazy until they're calling us geniuses. Because, oh man, I believed in you the whole time. Hey, by the way, can I have like a small loan of $500,000? It's not anything to you, right? Don't worry. You know, that's when we get to be like, oh, you know, I would, but you're just not smart enough to see a good trend coming, so I don't know that I could trust you to actually use that in a way that would be beneficial to us, you know. I think I could probably invest my money a little bit better than you, since, you know, you didn't invest in this thing that made me so successful that you're coming for mine, right? all right, enough tooting of my own horn, right? So, of our own horn though, really, because it's everybody that's in this chat. We're all the early adopters of this. So that is the extent of our news. That was actually the last little bit, is the Finestra. And that's kind of best for last, right? So don't let it happen to you. Yeah, guys, so let's hop into the chat. I'm gonna answer some questions here. And anybody, if you are tuning in, this is where we just engage with the chat. You know, if you're watching this after the stream, so now I'm just gonna BS with our chat. We're gonna talk about anything the chat wants to talk about and see what everybody's saying in here. Hopefully the stream wasn't too laggy. Nightmare Z, thank you for the compliment, brother. There's so many great content creators out in this community though, so I can't claim to be the best, but I appreciate you thinking that I'm up there with it. What's up, Light? Glad to see you made it to the stream. All right, let's see. We got any questions in here? I sound like a robot. Disco roboto domo. Yeah, I'm not. It seems like a lot of people are saying that it sounds robotic right now, so I'm not going to record from here next time. I came out here actually, since we're going to engage with the stream, we're going to go for a walk now. Now that we're done reading the news articles and we can just have a little chit chat with everybody, right? So give me a second here, and we're going to go walk around Pacific Beach here. Well, we're actually a little bit south of PB Pier, but we'll go for a walk and enjoy a beautiful day on the beach, right? I can't wait till we're all able to just sit here on the beach sipping margaritas, you know, having a good time, chatting about how everybody doubted us, and now they're awake while we chilling on the beach, right? We're just chilling on the beach because they all a little bit slow, right? So let's see. Young Jizzle, what you missed is a crazy day for news. Crazy day. Definitely suggest going back and watching. I don't want to repeat everything because there's so much going on. But the big takeaway, I'll repeat the big takeaway, is that we're seeing China and the US talking about a currency pact, right? A currency pact is, there's no information on it other than speculation based upon agreements that we're seeing out of Mexico-Canada trade agreement and the new Japan-US trade agreement that came out, right? So where is everyone sharing on Twitter now? I don't know. We were up almost to 200 people in yesterday's stream, and you know, it was just talking about Brad Garlinghouse interview, and I feel like this is what we're seeing today is even bigger news, right? What's up, James Ryan? Glad to see you in here. And Dr. Z, glad you can make it, bro. What happens when we can exchange XRP directly for any other asset without fiat? Tax-free transactions? So, DeepMind, that's a good question. I've been wondering that myself. How does that work out, right? How do we handle, there's a plane going overhead, hopefully you guys can still hear me, but how are we gonna handle that, or government's gonna handle individuals making purchases, transactions in digital assets directly for goods, right? You can already do that, but the thing is that when you do that, you're actually transferring your funds from, you know, Bitcoin or whatever you have on the Nexo card to the local currency used at the grocer that accepts the Nexo card, right? So I think what's ultimately going to happen is that the tax is going to be applied on the business end to immediately to your purchase, right? And so everything's going to become about sales tax, not about income tax. I feel like that's the only way that this system can really operate. So it's kind of good though, because now we don't have, if that's how it plays out, we won't have to worry about being double charged, right? XRP Holdler, 102 in the house and only 32 likes. You a bunch of leeches. Hit that like button. Hey, I like that mentality. I don't like to call my community leeches, but I would appreciate anybody who hits that like for me, because there is 93 of y'all here, and we got 65 likes still. So let's get that pumping up a little bit. Let's see here. GRB investment. all they have to do is flick the switch and we'll be rich. I like that, even rhyme, bro. I feel the same though, right? We're waiting for all these regulators to get on board, and I think that, you know, even once regulations are through, I think we're probably gonna have to wait a little while for the financial system to really need the liquidity, right? We're seeing it start up. We're seeing that that liquidity is becoming an issue. The IMF just released an article yesterday or the day before, I think it was, pardon me, yesterday or the day before, talking about how they're in a liquidity crisis now already. The global economy is having a liquidity crisis right now. Digital Nomad Investor actually covered that article yesterday. It's a 20-minute video, and he does a great job, so I won't delve too much on that. So definitely go check out Digital Nomad Investor's video on it. He did a great job of covering that. Also, how will it benefit XRP? Miguel, you asked something else? Oh, what do you think about XRP Stable Coin? What's your perspective? I think it's fantastic. I think that I think that Ripple should actually develop a stable coin for every currency on the planet, and then offer that tech directly to governments. Say, here's this for you. We developed it for you. You don't have to do anything. Here it is. Here's how it works. Here's how you integrate it. And now you can just connect to our system and, you know, pay. And guess what? If they did that, it would eliminate so much work and effort for a lot of these financial institutions and a lot of central banks. I think that would be like a brilliant business plan, and it would be an absolute benefit to the XRP network. It would help rapidly increase adoption and also facilitate increased liquidity if governments actually accepted that, right? Now, it's hard to say if governments would, because, you know, there's always that concern about privacy and security breaches and all that, and, you know, whether or not there's like a back wall Trojan or something that Ripple could have put into it, you know, because governments will be paranoid about all that kind of stuff. But I think as long as Ripple approached it, you know, in a genuine and, you know, legitimate manner, so that, and then allowed the governments to have full access to the base codes so that they can go and make sure that there's nothing fishy about it, then it'd be fantastic, and it could be huge. It could be huge. Is Ferdy in the house? I didn't see Ferdy, but what's up, Ferdy, if you're here? Where were you at, Ferdy? You said something. Oh, you sent a DM on Twitter for something. Oh, you DM'd him on Twitter. What's up, Ferdy? I didn't see your message there. Welcome to the chat. If you're still here, glad to see you. Hey, Martian, you love watching my videos? Well, I'm glad that you enjoy them, Wicked. We got a plane flying overhead, but, you know, I like to give you all some scenery while we go talk, right? And that's like one of my favorite things to start doing. So I'm trying to keep changing up the scenery where we go to. You know, yesterday we were in the sticks being yelled at by hobos, and now we're on the beach being yelled at by seagulls and having planes flying overhead, right? Get your car down to the beach, bro. Well, that's where we're at already, Simon. We're at the beach. You just didn't see it earlier because we were in the car, right? I think I'm still in the car comments here. Bro, Martian man, if this is that serious, jumpstart everything with XRP. It's already an open source network. Yeah, absolutely. And that's I think that's basically what I was just touching on, right? No Lambo, it's ugly. A Corvette ZR1 is sexy. I'm not gonna get no supercar. Well, we'll see. If XRP goes to like, you know, like $100 in 2020, okay, I'm gonna get a quote supercar in the form of the Tesla Roadster, the new 2020 Roadster that's coming out. That'll be my car in 2020 if this goes over $100, right? Otherwise, I'm just gonna get something kind of like, you know, kind of just, you know, low key. I'm not trying to live high on the ball. But if it goes to 100, you know, maybe that'll be like, I've always wanted a new car. I've always wanted a sport car. So if we get $100, then that's what I'll be doing. Love the walk next to the water. Love it. Absolutely, right? I mean, it's a little bit tingy sand out here right now, but it's still a nice beach. And, you know, there's a lot of boats out there. You know, I think there's more boats than water. Hey, guess what? What is it that Brad always says? All boats rise, all boats will rise. Well, they're all floating pretty well out there on that liquidity. I can't wait till the financial system looks so stable, right? So, like such a level playing field. Send me your link to your blogs. Yeah. Oh, for Ferdy's blog. Oh yeah, did you get the blog out, Ferdy? Send me a link to that. I'd love to read it. I want to see what everybody else's responses were to it. Life's a beach and then you marry one. Oh, I hope I don't marry a beach. That would be terrible. Yo, Crypto Nations, thank you. 589, thank you for the 10 bones, bro. Buy more XRP. Brother, I am gonna buy as much XRP as I can absolutely afford until I hit 100K. And that's gonna be scary because when you guys see me stop living in my car, that's when you know I got 100K XRP. But thank you for the $10, brother. I'm caught up on the comments here. XRP hit 5,000 in haste. 300 million. Hell, you're all buy 6-wheel Mercedes. That's a big number. I don't know that XRP could possibly hit that high of a value, brother. I wish. That would be crazy, right? 100K. Why not 100K? Or why 100K? Wait. 100K? What did I say 100K to? No, $100, not 100,000. My bad. If I said 100,000, my bad. I think that's why people are saying those big numbers. Is 28 cents doesn't matter. Yeah, at the prices we're at, guys, the prices we're at, it's like so worthwhile to be buying in, you know. I think anything under $10, honestly, is a steal. It's an absolute steal to get in at under $10 in this. Birdie says, Martian, I am still very busy writing. And Ed, by the way, I got married at the beach. Kauai, Hawaii was the best day of my life. That's awesome, brother. Congratulations to you and the missus. Or are you guy or female, Ferdy? I don't know. But congratulations to you and your partner, since I don't know which you are, or if you're straight or not, you know. I made a bunch of assumptions in that one statement. Things that we don't realize and take for granted. The beauty of walking on the beach, the living in the moment, you know. Ferdy is a man. All right, well, there we go. So I think I was probably absolutely right in every way then, right? We'll see. You're a man and your wife is female. Well, good. I got it, right? A bunch of assumptions that were right. It's almost like I kind of know my demographics, right? But, you know, it's rarely safe to assume in this modern day and age. On our journey to the summit, stop, look over the precipice, and enjoy. Oh, I can't wait till that day where I can just, like, you know, scale a mountain and look out, you know, the mountain of XRP's price surge, and look out over the masses and be like, man, is there really only a few thousand of us up here? Is it really that lonely at the top? Oh well, at least I got a pretty large community of people following me up this mountain, so we're gonna have a blast, guys. I can't wait. Simon Bickerton, maybe you'll find a kilo washed up on the beach. Homeless person's dream. Oh God, a kilo? Yeah. Sorry about that. Sound gross, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know that I can move a kilo. I don't even know the right people to get rid of a kilo, honestly. So it'd be kind of useless. Maybe I could turn it into law enforcement and get a reward for like turning it in, you know? But then I'd be paranoid about doing that even, because I feel like they'd be like, oh yeah, you just found a kilo on the beach, right? Crypto Mike, you're my favorite video you made. Your favorite video you made. What is your favorite video you made, Crypto Mike? What was it? Mine was the I don't want to ruin too much about the article you're writing, Ferdy, but my favorite video, for anybody watching my channel wanting to know what video I think that you all should watch from my channel, you should go watch the series I did on the SNB research conference, the 9th high-level advisory or research conference. That video contains more information and details about what's going on in the global economy right now, what we're seeing unfold with nations releasing central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, than anything else that you can find online. And I went through the effort. It's a long series. It's like 9 videos, and they're all about 20-30 minutes each. But if you watch through them, you know, take your time, you're gonna see, if you don't already see the writing on the wall, you're gonna be like, holy crap. How does anybody not realize how big this really is? How do we get XRP to trend on Twitter? Jeff, it already is trending. I mean, it's not like one of the top trends. You know, the best way to get it to trend on Twitter is to have Kim Kardashian tattoo XRP logo on her ass, and then everybody will talk about it. Because Kim Kardashian, you know, most people are obsessed with celebrities and, you know, superficial crap. They don't care about financial freedom or anything like we care about. We're all weirdos, guys. I'll DM you. This is the Martian Show. Well, no, I appreciate, like, I actually want to know what Crypto Mike's is. Like, it's a big community. That's why I was like, you know, when we were doing the news, I'm a plug. I feel somebody does a really good job of covering something. Like, you know, with DNI's video on the IMF, I plugged that. Kevin Cage's video covering Finestra and how major of a partnership and agreement, or, you know, it is for Ripple to be working with them. I want people to go watch that video from him. Who else's video did I mention that should be watched? Oh, Bearable Bull did the video on, you know, the talking about Japan and the U.S., Mexico, China, or Canada trade agreement. You should go watch that, you know. Really, I'm just your source for, like, giving you the big picture overview of how trying to connect all these things and show you the relation between them, right? Like, and then just being like a chat room for everybody to come in and BS, catch up with me, you know. Like, that's really what I'd rather be more than anything. I'm not trying to compete with everybody. I'm trying to collaborate and you know, make sure that nobody in the community is missing anything that somebody else in the community's found. Because I watch everyone's content that I can. Like, if I have time to watch it, I'm watching it. I usually wait for, like, you know, I know I don't make it into a lot of live streams, but that's because I don't have a lot of time to watch, you know, you know, like I love watching Crypto Mike's live streams because I love Mike's energy. He's always upbeat. And I love watching DNI's live streams because he's got a unique perspective that, like, nobody else in the community seems to have, like, the insights to that he provides, and I love listening to him. But, like, I don't really listen to Alex's live streams anymore. I try to every once in a while, but, like, Alex is who I go to after I've watched everybody else. And I tune into Aiden as much as I can too. But Moon Lambo. I love Moon Lambo too, because Moon Lambo covers, like, I feel like he does a better job than Digital Asset Investor at covering the actual goings on in the Twitterverse too. But that's nothing against DAI. It's just that Moon Lambo puts out a lot more content every day, you know? So it's not that I dislike or prefer one over the other. It's just about how much content each put out. Let's see. If XRP backed by gold, don't you think it will surpass 5,000? If it is, then yeah. Because gold right now, fair trade value of gold right now is projected to be over $6,000. So if XRP backed by gold, it would have to be over $5,000, unless, well, that's kind of fishy, right? Because you have to, like, factor in the total supply of XRP, what percentage backing it is. You know, if they only do like a 30% backing, then maybe it only sends XRP up to 2,000, right? But yeah, it's Ben Trang on Twitter. Just do a poll. XRP is definitely the most popular digital asset on Twitter. Exactly, Crypto Mike. That's what I meant by it trending, right? When it comes to crypto, XRP is the trend setter for us, and it's the one that everybody talks about because it's actually got the most humans involved in it, and it's not just a bunch of, you know, people who are trying to shill their coin that they already have millions in, kind of thing, you know. There's a lot of talk that XRP is, like, really top heavy, but if you look at the actual metrics of Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's like, no, not even close, you know. There's about, I think it's about 25 or 30%, somewhere in that range, of all XRP is in wallets with less than 1 million XRP. So that's better than Bitcoin, because over 90% of Bitcoin, thing is, like, I think Apomp, or not Apomp, who was it I was watching? Somebody that was talking about Bitcoin was talking about the fact that, you know, 95% is held by the top wallets in it that have over 100,000 Bitcoin. And 100,000 Bitcoin is a lot of Bitcoin, guys. Like, come on now, that's what? That's over $10 million essentially, or way more than that even. Way more than that. I think that's almost $1 billion per wallet. Would it be? I'm not in the mindset for math. I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten really lazy with math lately. I just use a calculator for it all the time. Probably one of my favorite, or one of your quantum financial system videos. I'm gonna go through my catalog and find one. Well, too many. That's how I feel crypto. And the only reason I picked my the research one is because that was like one of my first videos, and I put a lot of effort into it, and there's so much, again, there's so much information in it. And I'm one of the, it's weird, as a content creator, I hate repeating myself, but when you're a content creator, you kind of have to repeat yourself and create regular content. So when it comes to that, like, I feel like I put most of my novel thoughts and perspectives and everything into that particular series, and then, you know, everything since has just been like, oh, I'm gonna read the article and then give you my thoughts on just that, right? What's up, XRP Carolina? Glad to see you in the chat, brother. You love Kevin Cage's voice, very soothing and warm, kind of like mashed potatoes. Legendary. Oh, that's epic, bro. That's legendary. That's a legendary comment. I love it. But yeah, dude, Kevin Cage's voice, like, he'd be I think Digital Asset Investor said it too, but he'd be a great radio show spokesman or radio show voice. He's got that, it is a very soothing, very deep voice, very soothing voice. Rob Dennis, it's set to move all value, period. So 2.7 quadrillion over a year moves through the ILP over a year. Then take into account 2.7 quadrillion will only go up over time, and that it only goes through the XRP. So Rob, I think that you're on the right track right now. I think that it's gonna take a decade or more for that kind of value to be captured in XRP Ledger. But I do think that at the end of the day, if XRP is meant to be the liquidity source for global payments, then in that situation, yeah, it's absolutely going to have to equate to the global value, or the value of the global market, because otherwise it's not a true liquidity source. It's not actually a true, you could have a technical run on XRP if it doesn't equate to the value of the market that it underpins. And it's in Ripple's attempt, R3's attempt to get XRP to become the global international liquidity supply, then yeah, it has to be the value of the global market. But you know, that's going to take a while, right? They're going to have to, it's like Brad was saying, if Ripple isn't successful, if they can't even capture the international remittance market, you know, if they can't get that one vertical, you know, that one vertical captured, they don't get to move on to another vertical, you know, they don't get to move on to another means. But something Brad pointed out though is that Ripple doesn't need to move on to another one, right? We sit around and talk about how Ripple is trying to capture the remittance market, but then there's Coil, you know, it's trying to integrate web platforms into the XRP ecosystem. Then you have Polysign, who's trying to integrate smart contracts for corporate adoption into the ecosystem. Then you have, you know, we could go on all day, right, with all the different companies, half of whom, you know, we probably don't even know half the companies that are in this ecosystem still, because it's growing so rapidly, you know. So absolutely. My friend at work loves Moon Lambo. Oh, Crypto Mike, I do too. He's hilarious. He's definitely, what's that? He's definitely the funniest individual in our community, no doubt. He's comical gold. Melshi, we're just doing Q&A at this point. If you want to know what you missed, you should be able to rewind in the chat, rewind in the video, watch the first 30 minutes. That's where all the news is contained. Now I'm just going through, and we're talking about basically anything that chat brings up right now, right? I love it when somebody uses Ripple instead of XRP and XRP for Ripple. You need to hear Moon Lambo go crazy. He doesn't like that. Matt is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I love it whenever people kind of lose it over it. But you know, in articles especially, right? When people misconstrue in articles, I get it. When it's like in a video, because I do it all the time, I understand when people slip of the tongue, say one way or the other. But yeah, in articles, it's like Moon Lambo. It's like he says, proofread your fucking articles. This is why nobody trusts crypto news. It looks like it is written by someone who doesn't actually speak English and is, you know, just trying to like scam you because they can't even be bothered to put in the effort to make sure they don't have spelling errors and typos and words injected into the sentence that don't even make sense. You know, it's like, what is this nonsense? Martian, did you call me human? I am a bot. Ferdy, that's okay. I'm an Apache helicopter, all right? So it's all good, I understand. Mechanicals unite. Autobots unite. Get this. I think gold will be backed by XRP. Then everything else will be backed by gold. Well, technically speaking, even though the dollar is no longer backed by gold, the global economy technically still is. That's why when things start to go haywire in the stock market and with, you know, currency markets, that's why gold just goes through the roof. And it's going through the roof right now, you know? If you're looking for somewhere to diversify outside of crypto, get gold, get silver, get precious metals, Cobalt. Oh my God, the one that nobody talks about, Cobalt. Oh. Cobalt, I wouldn't be surprised, this is my opinion, not financial advice, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cobalt sees the greatest yield returns over the next decade of anything in the world. Because Cobalt is critical for computers. And it's this resource that nobody really talks about. Nobody talks about this precious metal, this extremely rare and sought after material. Cobalt is something, you know, if just look at Cobalt's prices over the last 20 years even. It's crazy how much it's gone up. I haven't watched, I'm saying that, and watch like it's actually crashed since the over the last like 5 years or the last year or something, because I haven't looked at Cobalt in a year. So maybe it's in a bear trend right now, but if it's in a bear trend right now, you know, it's like XRP. Buy the dip, right? Buy low, sell high. Not financial advice. Even though that's definitely financial advice, but you know guys, you know the deal, you know the routine. 95 people in chat, 95 likes. Has anybody in the chat not hit the like button, or am I actually at this point where everybody in here is actually enjoying my content? Much appreciation to everybody out there. Y'all are awesome. Love the community. Let's see, let's get through the chat here. We're getting up close to the hour mark, so I'm gonna try and get through here looking for questions. How far up? Okay, I'm almost there, so I'll get your comment here, Connie. I am ready for XRP to not be a discount coin any longer. No more 4 for $1 and be a name brand coin. That is very, very expensive. I can't wait for that day either, Connie. It's gonna be magical. Alex Yeet! What's up, bro? How's it going? Welcome to the chat. If you're just tuning in, be sure to rewind the video to the beginning, because we're just wrapping up. I'm just covering the last few questions here in chat, and about an hour in, we're gonna call it. So we got another 5 minutes left. So if you got any questions for me, throw them in chat. Rob Dennis, Reuters tried to lie and say XRP wasn't a good buy and hold. Right, suck my balls, Lord Rothschild, right? How dare Rothschild be saying that XRP is not a good hold when we all know that Rothschild's investing in every bank and every institution that is investing in XRP. They're touching it without touching it and telling people don't touch it, right? Seems fishy to me. Seems fishy to me. Let's see here. Hi from Belgium. Hazelcraft, thank you for tuning in all the way from the other side of the world, bro. It's got to be late there. I appreciate that you come in so late. DeepMind Lab, Cobalt used in quantum computing. I don't know if it's used in quantum computing technically. I know that it is utilized in computer chips in general, though. So I think it might actually be. Don't quote me on that. I think it might be, though. I'm trying to think of the actual. It's for battery. It's for battery more so than anything. It's one of the better energy capturing resources, and also it's also a conductor too, I believe, or highly conductive as well. So it's like a hybrid between lithium and gold. You know, not anybody that understands actual physics and element properties, you can be like, you're a fucking idiot. That's not at all what it is. But it's really you can use it for both, and that's why it's so valuable. Also critical for batteries and electric cars. Yeah, exactly, Aaron M. Yep, pointing that out. Yeah, thank you. That's why I was sitting here like, wait, what was it for? And you said it right there. I should have just read through the comments. Mr. FOMO Sumo, love Moon Lambo and Moon Bay. She's sexy. She has a beautiful voice, right? And she is beautiful too. They're a beautiful couple. Cobalt current spot price is $15.76. What was it up to? That sounds low, actually. I swear it was over $30. Maybe it is in a bear trend right now. That'd be interesting. I need to look at that because I really wouldn't mind getting some Cobalt. Wondering which part of America you're in. Not many people about. This is San Diego, and not many people about because we're in a park, and this is the 21st century, so everybody's sitting on their phone, you know? Everybody's at home hiding in their caves, their man caves, woman caves. They're not engaging, so that's why there's nobody here, right? I also just picked a part. You know, most people that are here, they're going to the actual storefronts, and there's an amusement park here because we're actually out near Pacific Beach. So most people are actually there. They're not actually out at the actual, you know, nature side, I guess you'd say, right? I was gonna wrap it up at an hour exactly, but I'm gonna walk back to the car, so we'll get through. Y'all are still like streaming in here. I got some people popping in I haven't seen today, so I'll chat with you guys till we get back to the car. And my battery's still holding out good, so we'll get back to the car. It'll probably be like an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. Martian Man, I heard Addeess can ramp XRP's transaction per second from 15K to millions. Why do you think they don't do it now? XRP passionate. I think that the reason that they are holding off is probably for the same reason that they're holding off on implementing their quantum protection system. And it's because what they're currently developing for the XRP ledger, if they implemented those systems, it would actually set them back. And also, David Schwartz made a good point. I don't remember what topic it was on, whether it was on quantum computing or what, but he made a good point that when it comes to implementing changes to the network, it's a lot easier to add something into the network to get a system approved to be implemented into the network than it is to get a system removed, right? Because when it comes to these kind of things, it's more like, well, with the quantum thing, it's like, well, you know, it's better safe than sorry. Make sure that your technology is as optimal as possible before you actually implement it. And so it's probably the idea is that they probably feel that Addeess would be able to enable, you know, millions of transactions per second, but at the same time, there might be issues that they're unforeseen issues with it, or issues they don't want to discuss yet, you know, because obviously it's not good to share bad publicity about a new technology you're developing. So there might be issues with that they don't want to discuss, and that's why they haven't implemented it yet, even though it would increase transactions. And when you get down to the brass tacks of it, 15,000 transactions per second, that's a lot. You know, it could essentially replace Visa at its current speed, and we don't really need millions yet, you know. And when we implement Cobalt network on top of it, then it's already going to be faster than is necessary to facilitate all global transactions at once. So Addeess on top of that, it's like it's overkill kind of situation, right? And that kind of a situation might actually be detrimental to the long-term liquidity, or the long-term price, and it might reduce liquidity, right? Because they're not, if they're moving money so fast, then it might not, it might be detrimental to liquidity, essentially, right? I don't think there's any way else I can word that. What did Rothschild say this? Say to what, Zach? I want to know. Oh, were you talking about, if you were talking about the bit that I was talking about how Rothschild is involved in like multiple companies that are involved with Ripple. The Bank for Rothschild is invested heavily in SBI. They're invested heavily in, I think it's BNY Mellon. And those are the only two that are coming to the top of my head right now. I know there's others, but those are the two that I know for certain. I don't want to say any others that that might be wrong. I'd rather just give you a few examples over feed you one that's probably wrong. Journalism, most has gone to hell. Bunch of freelance people being paid and told what to write. CKJ Selmay, I know, right? That's why we're seeing this rise in independent journalism from people like me and, just regular people that are trying to, find out what's really going on. And it's all part of this post-truth era that we live in. I mean, it's really hard to know what's real from false anymore. And it's like, that's why I've had to make videos coming out and apologizing about things because I've been misled myself and had to come out and be like, I'm sorry guys, that news that I provided you is a lot of hype and it was completely false. And it doesn't feel good to have to do those videos, but I think that's why the mainstream media won't do it, because they feel that it'd be detrimental to their integrity, the perception the public has of them, to admit that they're wrong. And so they just let the lie go. And then instead of, when you let a lie go, then you end up having to support your lie. It's like anytime anybody's ever lied to somebody and they didn't just clear it out after, no, actually, really though, this is what it was. No. What happens when you create a lie, you have to support your lie, and then the lie gets bigger and bigger until it explodes around you. And that's where we're at with everything, I'm not even gonna get into any one topic, but everything in this world, it's like, what's true, what's not, none of us know, right? We all are left guessing. And so, hopefully we're not being taken for a ride by the largest smokescreen in history, but if it is, this is a hell of a smokescreen to have the most powerful people in the world collectively misleading just a small group of 1 million people. Like there's probably not even 1 million of us in the XRP ecosystem, and for the world leaders to be misleading that small of a group of people, it just seems like a conspiracy more so than what we're observing being a conspiracy. Cobalt is for manufacturing too. Excellent for manufacturing and drilling. Oh, because it's hardness legendary? I didn't know that actually. Cool. Learn something new every day. I love it. Thanks, Rob. In a van. Oh, somebody was saying that they'd like to stay in their van in Cali just like you. Silver Surfer, it's a struggle, bro. Oh, I need to go this way. It's a struggle, bro, but at the same time, I save so much money not paying rent, not paying an electric bill, not paying for water and sewage and all that stuff. Well, technically I'm paying for my water and sewage because I have a gym membership, so I can go shower and all that good jazz. But by and large, yeah, it's a great way to save money, especially if you go somewhere that has high-paying jobs in the area, and you get accustomed to living a minimalist lifestyle pretty quickly. I mean, I think everybody'd be surprised how quickly you don't even really, I felt weird going back to living in well, when I was renting with my aunt, I was paying rent to her when I was living with them, staying in their spare room. It felt weird to me to actually have things that I had to, things that I didn't need. And I'm just like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending money on this? Oh, because I enjoyed being able to stay with my aunt and being able to catch up with my cousins who I hadn't who I hadn't really spent a lot of time with since we were kids, but you know, outside of the social engagement with my family, it's like, you know, there was nothing else I was getting out of it. I was just bleeding money, you know. So hey Jade, I was finally able to hit up a proper computer to join in the live chat. Glad to see you in here, dude. Are you still in that sketchy park? I told you to stay out. Nah, we're on the other side of San Diego from that sketchy park right now. We're in Pacific Beach today, checking out this level playing field out there. You see that level playing field? That level playing field of a highly liquid asset known as water that all these boats have risen upon. They're all floating on that same level playing field, that same liquid level playing field. It's such a great analogy. Anything, Rob? Let's see. Maybe a little image of James Dean. What was your experience when listening to Pomp podcast with Brad? Middle way, when it comes to the Pomp Brad interview, when I actually got to listen through the whole thing, thanks to Mike streaming it. I don't know why I couldn't get this stupid video to work for me, but when I actually listened through the whole thing, the last half, really the last like half of the video, yeah, like last 45 minutes, it wasn't that Brad shared things that were new as much as he shared sentiment that we hadn't heard from Brad before, right? Like when he was talking about how Bitcoiners have this pipe dream that Bitcoin, or that governments of the world are just going to let Bitcoin disrupt their currencies and replace their currencies. And it's like, you can't do that, because if you disrupt a nation's currencies, or you know, if you like disrupt the United States dollar and you try and replace it, you're trying to remove the United States sovereignty. And you know, look at what happened to Libya when Gaddafi tried to, you know, create a gold standard around and create a one African, you know, an African, all of Africa national currency, or you know, continental currency. Yeah, America brought the tanks in, and like, we might not, you know, Bitcoin might be this decentralized system, but that doesn't mean that America's not got tabs on everybody that's got Bitcoin, and if shit hit the fan, so to speak, that they wouldn't be raiding those individuals' homes, taking them into custody, putting them into camps, and ending the network. It's like, you don't F with a first world nation's sovereignty. They will eliminate all threats to their sovereignty. They have in the past, they are doing so currently, and they will continue to do so forever, because that's how first world nations remain first world nations. Let's see. Find me on Twitter to see what's going on in the community. Yeah, absolutely. Give Andrew Nation a follow on Twitter. You're always sharing great news. Good stuff, dude. We're almost back to the car here, and I actually fell way behind chat, so I'm gonna just look for some big bulky comments that seem to have some questions here. Jade, what are your thoughts on XRP price spike to 380 in early January? Dean, I think that is an indicator of how easy it is for this market for XRP to skyrocket, right? That was a result of retail FOMO. Joe Schmoes like you and me moving money out of Bitcoin and into XRP as Bitcoin is crashing. And if we could get just people who are like trying to ride the wave of a you know, a retail bull run to get XRP up to almost $4, man, that's why I'm so convinced that we're gonna see XRP just go to figures that make everybody's head spin when the institutions, the people with 99.95% of the money, get into this, right? It's just common sense to me, kind of thing, almost, you know. Zach O'Hare, okay, I gotta reread it when I didn't see it says Rothschilds, unless that's their company. Oh yeah, you're talking about they're investing in SBI. Yeah, I'd have to find the document. I know it's floating around out there. I think I might even have it in a video. I'll have to have a look, and I'll see if I can find something. I'll try and tweet it out on Twitter if I can find it. But I know it to be a fact. I actually saw the document with my own two eyes. It's also the most poisonous substance on Earth. What is? Cobalt? Is cobalt the most poisonous substance on Earth? What? What? I did not know that either. Oh, you're talking about second only to organic mercury. Huh. That's crazy. I think it's a poison coin. Maybe we don't want cobalt implemented then. It's going to poison us, right? Do you think some Nigerian prince has to liquidate all their country's fiat currency into crypto until the revolution in their third world country died down? I don't know what you mean. Oh, you got a second one. And then they convert it back into their country's original currency. And that's why the XRP price dropped back down again suddenly. Oh yeah, definitely don't think that, buddy. I definitely think that XRP went up because of just retail FOMO. XRP is not sold on any exchange where you can get large sums of XRP without being KYC'd. You can't move more than I think it's like, the largest amount that I know that you can move on an exchange where XRP was Binance in 2017 or 2018, and they allowed you to move up to, I think it was $5,000 without being KYC'd. So definitely not that. It was individuals, buddy. Pump is our friend now, the way I see it. I enter his handle into all XRP giveaways I see now. Hopefully once he owns some XRP, he will support it even more. That's the way, dude. Yeah, I think it's like, it's also like Brad was saying, there's the, why agree to the tyranny of or when you can have the diplomacy of and, right? Why can't both survive? I mean, really, I think that Bitcoin is only ever going to be a store of value. And I think sort of like what Moon Lambo says, once utility comes into this market, we'll see how long Bitcoin remains a store of value. But I think that it will remain a collector's item. I think that it does have that first mover advantage into this ecosystem, and so it will always have a place. It's just, I don't think that place is number one on the charts. Is that going to trigger somebody? Probably. Pompous. That's not nice. Hey, Pomp. He honestly, I think that Anthony is just, he played diplomatic with Brad when he was asked if the interview changed his perspective, because he had to. He had no option, because his primary demographic, 99% of his viewers, are Bitcoin maximalists. He couldn't do anything about that. He had to pretend that he wasn't on board, even if he's like totally bought and sold onto the XRP ecosystem now. Quantum computer metals are graphene. Yeah, graphene is huge. I know that. Crypto Mike. It's actually like it's a wonder material kind of thing. It's like a super material. How does XRP make money? It is money. Why would they need to make money? It is money. You mean Ripple? Ripple makes money by selling their technology out to the banks and whatnot, financial institutions. And that those technologies, those products, like XRPTip and ODL, that they utilize XRP. That's how it operates. But let's jump down here. Graphene equals the best superconductor there is. Yep, it's a superconductor. It can store energy. It is super durable. What else am I forgetting? There's a few other things. It can be used in performing computational processes, right? So it's just stupid. It's stupid cool how cool graphene is. If you own XRP, you aren't on Twitter and the XRP community, then you're missing out major. Yeah, yeah, I agree actually. If you are in this chat and you aren't on Twitter and you're not following me at Jade Martian and you're not following Andrew Nation, what are you doing? You're missing out. It's a party on Twitter. And we definitely need y'all to help us with all these Bitcoin maxis out here, spread some loves to disseminate their hate, right? All right, guys, we're about 1:15 in. I'm back to the parking lot here where my car is. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed the news. I enjoyed chatting with everybody for the last half hour. So can't wait to see you all on tomorrow's live stream. If you haven't already, if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe and ring that bell so you can be updated for my next live stream. As always, I stream every single day, 2 p.m. Well, every weekday at 2 p.m. Weekends, I only stream if there's actually something to cover. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, as always, on Mars. Oh yeah, and don't forget to hit that like. Thanks for the recommendation, Mike. All right, see you guys.